Alright, so I'm back with the next episode, and so today is going to be a sort of a sporadic episode. So I'm still trying to come up with an idea to save the bees since they keep falling off the island. And in fact, when I was actually on the ocean level, I did see a couple of bees flying around. I didn't kill them or anything, I didn't have a weapon on me, so I just let them go, and hopefully one day they can find land and they'll be alright. So one of the solutions I actually thought about for trying to secure this area a little bit better is that I know I was talking about putting up a wall, but I just can't think of a natural wall at the moment to really like surround this area. I have some ideas for the back end behind the farm here, but as far as like the section in between the islands, originally I had thought for the Sky Kingdom that there would just be canals of air or empty space in between the islands. And I'm still going to hold that concept true for some of the areas, but I think for just these main three areas, I'm going to have like maybe like some river system or some lakes or some ponds and maybe a waterfall. So that's kind of what I want to do. I can do the in between here. It's going to be quick and easy, fill it with water, and then when I get sort of to this kind of vague little area, I might build a pond with a nice mountain range. Of course I won't do the mountain range or whatever on this episode. It'll be just essentially adding in the water and then hopefully dressing it up just a tad bit. But if I do that, I think I can actually open up this area over here with some bees and get the bee population going again. And then this area over here is going to have to hold off. So I actually have a couple of furnaces going right now that are smelting some cobblestone right now. That's what that cart noise was down there. It has a couple of furnaces with the cobblestone. But I collected some sand from a desert nearby and I got some smooth stone. So for a little bit, I'm just going to take some of the stone and not very deeply, but make kind of like a shallow little river system down here and hope for the best. See how it comes out. Okay, I wanted to record this little bit here. So the way I've been making these islands of late is that normally I would branch out with a dirt bridge and then I would sort of just build a platform and I would try to be as random as possible to give it a natural look. And I tried to avoid, really nice circles as you can see on the side up here. But if I was ever to want to get like super low, I would use a water ladder like this, take some stone, drop down just a little bit. Now, like I said, I didn't want to make this too shallow because I wanted to kind of connect with the other islands, and that way it will save me on some stone and I'll just be working on like sort of like the lower end of it. So we'll do this one right here. That we'll get up a little bit. Okay. And so we're going to leave that up there so I can have the ability to climb in and out of this. So I'm going to make a small quick platform with this and I'll show you how it looks. So far this is what I got starting for the river right now. The bottom here is the riverbed. It's not the final product for this. Obviously I'm going to get some things like sand and dirt and layer it, because normally what I like to do, especially up here in the Sky Kingdom, if I put any type of water, I like to add 2 blocks layer thick. And the reason being, ooh, dang, that guy just showed up. But anyway, the reason being is because I really don't like the dripping animation. Even if I can't see it, I feel like if I ever go under the island to look underneath it, I don't want to see just water dripping. It would be kind of annoying. So right now you can see how it's kind of randomly scattered everywhere. And again, I'm going to fill some of it with sand and dirt, maybe some like shipwreckage or some little nice aesthetics with some water plants and maybe some coral. Which I should probably check on this traveling villager to see if he's got anything interesting to sell. No, nothing at the moment. Oh well, that's okay. But yeah, so also part of the structure of the river is to make sure that the river itself doesn't actually go lower than the actual islands. So in a sense, if you look off to the side here, you can see that that bottom part is actually quite low as opposed to these right here. So the idea is to keep the river, semi-low. I mean, it's still about 6 blocks high, and there's going to be some shallow areas, and there's going to be deep areas like this. And then I got the dam right there holding up because that's the area that I'm hoping to add just some land or maybe like a building, something that isn't just going to be a continuous river. I mean, eventually there'll be a river, but I want to add another island here and then wrap some water around it. So this is here temporarily, so this is just a nice dam, and hopefully I can fill up this entire area and fill it up with water and see how it looks. Okay, so the part 1 of the bedding of the river is complete. As you can see, I got all the smooth stone laid down. I also got one dam over here, got another dam just around this river bend. As you can See, it's right over there. It's a huge one because this is where the lake was supposedly going to go. I ran out of stone, but I had just enough to kind of go just slightly behind the farmhouse, which is what I need to go ahead and make this little safety net area for the off. So the next step to this is to actually lay down some sand and then fill it up with water. Of course, I'll come back over time and slightly decorate it, put some plants, and add maybe some shipwreck or maybe some portholes on the side of the islands and whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to get to work on that. Okay, after a couple of hours of smelting some stone and collecting some sand, we finally got the base of the canal, just a little comfortable sand, and I got a little bit of I forget what that called. Oh yeah, sandstone as a pallet or as a bedding for the river. As you can see, I got a lot of monsters who have actually spawned inside the bed here. It's because during the night, it's actually quite dark. And since spawning is limited on the island, the monsters actually have a pretty decent area to spawn in. And plentiful. They spawn plentiful is the words that I'm looking for. So anyway, over here, I had some torches because that's what I did earlier, but I got lazy and didn't replace them. And as you can see, I put some water down just to get me started. So the next step is to actually fill this entire area with water. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting because I don't know how bees really interact with water. So it's going to be kind of wild to see whether or not the water actually helps them or if it just causes more issues. But I'm crossing my fingers for the best. Who knows? I might generate something pretty interesting. At the same time, though, thinking about it, you know, it is kind of nice to have some water up here. Originally, I was going to try to have the Sky Kingdom. It's just a bunch of random floating islands. I'm still kind of going to run with that idea. But as far as this area is concerned, it's just going to be mostly this. And I'm hoping that I can get all this into like a source water zone. I don't want any like just falling water. That will be super annoying. At least for the most part. Because I think you normally, if you want to put some kind of water bases here, you need to have pretty much a straightforward like square pool, I want to say, before you start adding things like sand or curvature or anything, or else you're going to have a lot of like falling water. But we're going to hope for the best and see what happens. I am kind of excited to do this because I'm thinking decoration is going to be pretty neat. I might just eventually get some fish. Well, oh yeah, no, that reminds me. Fish can naturally spawn up here. I did it in a multiplayer world, that's right. So since we're over an ocean biome, if we make the water deep enough, fish will start spawning in here. So that's going to be cool. Just thinking about this as I was planning the water around here, this does provide a bit of an issue if I wanted to build some kind of underground bit for the actual canals. It would just mean that I would have to go underneath it somewhere along these islands and then build like a separate room. But I guess I'll address that later. I'll have to just start avoiding putting redstone machines underneath, but I will probably put some tunnels just to put some quick transportation around. And at least this will connect all the islands. Now I just remembered something from the multiplayer world, and that was trying to make everything a source water block is super annoying. But at the same time, it's super gratifying. I mean, not gratifying, I guess the word is not what I'm looking for. It's satisfying. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like dominoes. As soon as you put the right piece in, everything just falls together, and then it's like, ah, look at that. It's all beautiful now. Okay, so I finally made it to the other side of the canal. It's really not a lot of work. It's just very tedious. Just as long as you keep up with like an infinite source of water, like I'm doing, just going back and forth and just placing it in spots, and then eventually you get like a weird glitch like this one. But I mean, we're over here now, and you can see it right before I put the water down, the smooth sandstone along with the actual sand. So I'll be back with another update in a minute. Whew. Okay, it's finally done. The canal, oh gosh, he scared me. I looked up there and thought that was like a zombie or something. Well, anyway, like I was saying, so the canal is finished, but as I was building, I thought about this. There's a new threat to the island now. See, before the water was actually in, the previous threat was that there was creepers, skeletons, zombies, and witches that would randomly spawn here alongside with spiders. Now the issue is the drowned. Now, the issue is that drowned can spawn in water, especially if the light level is slightly lower than ideal. So the way I fixed that in my multiplayer world a while back was to purchase some sea pickles off of a wandering trading villager, and then just start planting my own on the actual landscape itself. If you put enough sea pickles or glowstone or redstone lamps, you can actually limit the chances of the spawns. So for now, I guess I should probably try to find some emeralds, because currently right now my inventory in emeralds is quite low since I wasn't near any mountain biomes to actually farm any. Or was I ever really near like an actual village to start trading for emeralds? No, not really. So there is a wandering villager there, as you can see. He scared me there a second ago, so we're gonna go check him out once I fix some of these water glitches. Okay, so he doesn't have any sea pickles, which is, you know, unfortunate, but hey, I wouldn't have been able to purchase it anyway. So again, the canal, I don't really like it. I kind of like the floating island look, was kind of cool to me. But you know what? This is here for now until I figure something out with the beast. Well, actually, no, this is permanent. I am not going to take this down. This would be a super headache to fix all this. So the canal's staying. Eventually, I'm going to expand it out. There's going to be an island over there that's going to cap off that section. An island's going to cap off that section over there. And the same thing over here in this direction. But for now, the canal zapped a lot of my resources and energy and time to actually build. So for now, we're just going to hold on to it. So a few things I wanted to mention is that, yes, the canal underneath is super basic. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of like messy decoration to kind of give it some color or some vibe to it. I'm also thinking I need to go eventually find some coral and sort of like fix it up in here. Maybe I'll be able to like get a dolphin up here. Yeah, maybe I can get like a dolphin, name it so it doesn't despawn, do something crazy with that. But as you can see what I'm doing here, I'm doing a little bit of I think it's called seagrass. Yeah, I'm just growing some seagrass down here just to give it a little bit more depth and detail. I'll probably build some like miniature shipwrecks or buildings that have collapsed in the water, something crazy. And of course, try to get some sea pickles, or maybe I'll just take some of the glowstone and turn it into what is it? Yeah, like just glowstone blocks, and just put some in here just to kind of lighten it up a little bit and stop the spawning of drowned. Oh yeah, I also got some of the kelp. I can start growing some kelp now, make a kelp farm, and make those really awesome XP furnaces. So I'm just going to put a few of these around here. They don't take long to grow. I'll have like a shit ton of those in no time. But yeah, so I think this is pretty much it for today's episode. Yeah, it doesn't look like I built anything. It was just crazy. I don't know. It's hard to explain, especially when there was a lot of cuts involved. But yeah, just working the furnaces, running to the desert, and spending hours and hours and hours smelting all the stone I need and doing all this other crazy stuff really takes a lot of time. And it just, it was crazy. But I have plans. Ooh, I just noticed this thing over here. I have plans to build some other stuff. I think we're going to build some other crazy things off camera. Maybe even decorate this some more. I just don't want to take up too much time on the video with just like dumb decorations. Again, it is just a canal, and this is what it's going to be for now on. So let me just hop out of here. So that's it. The sun is setting. Today was a lot of work. Doesn't really look like it, but it really did kick my ass. So as you can see, the canal, I think it's kind of growing on me. The color's kind of nice, and it's really working on me. Once I get some lights in here and some different colors in it, I bet you it's really going to pop for me. But the bees are going to be safe, at least on this side. Probably next time I'm going to build the 2 new islands to cap off the area. That way I can have a nice safety net for the bees so they can fly wherever they want. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you tune in next time and check out and see what's going on the Sky Kingdom. See you later.